Hi, I'm Derek and this is my wife Priscilla Moodley. We are the pastors at Freedom House and it's run in the core area of Winnipeg. This is the area where there's lots of homelessness, lots of vulnerable people living in the community, there's lots of shelters around us. We found that there's a lot of organizations in our community giving out meals and food and resources, but there was no church here for local community. And we would all agree that poor people, homeless people also need a church community to belong to. So we had revisioned the ministry so that we could be a church community making disciples in line with our Every Nation values.
We have a breakfast program where people come in, hear a devotion, we do prayer requests. This is where our discipleship happens. This is where we do life with people. So when they come in, we hear their stories, they hear about Jesus, and then we have resources that we give to our community. So we give them, food, clothing. Derek helps them with their taxes. And on a Sunday, we do a church service. And after the church service, we do a hot meal.
We're currently running Alpha, and people are receptive to Alpha. They're receptive to the gospel because we treat them with respect and dignity. And that's one of the focuses for our ministry. If we cannot eat something, we should not serve it to our community. If I cannot put a piece of clothing on myself, I would not want to serve that to our community.
I've been coming every Sunday. Good food, like a community within a community. What is a community of faith? And they spread the love of Jesus. And that's followed by Jesus. I'm very proud of what I see. They do good work here. They're very caring, compassionate people. And they're there for anybody who's asking for help. They'll be there for anything that they can do.
I like coming here because I like being myself. I looked for other churches to go to, but it wasn't what I was looking for. And when I started coming here again, I can be myself. I come every Sunday. I like singing with their music. I like the way they pray, telling us that we don't have to be such a holy person or goody two-shoes to even be a believer in God.
In Canada, discipleship takes a bit longer than what it would take in South Africa. One of the guys that was here when we first took over the ministry, his name is Lenny. The first year that I met him, he kept on telling me he hates Jesus, he hates the church, but he kept on coming to our breakfast program. It took him about 2 years before he can even say to me, can you pray for me? So he was struggling with something, he needed prayer. He actually had to go to the hospital on Christmas Eve. So I offered him a lift to take him to the hospital. He said, would you really do that? Would you take me to the hospital on Christmas Eve? I said, sure, I'll do that and I'll come pick you up as well. And now he's been coming consistently every week. He comes every day for our programs in the morning, but he loves God.
I love coming here. It helps me a lot being here. More and more you're here, the more I feel calmer. They're here to help you, make you feel better, make you feel wanted, and God tells them things to tell us, I think. I could say thank you for a million days and it would never be enough.
Working in this community, we have about 60% Indigenous people that come to our services and to our programs. We have qualified doctors, lawyers, accountants that have fallen into drug addiction and then now are living in shelters in the city. But we also have a whole community of refugees that are struggling in the city, coming to a new country. Anybody and everybody's welcome. We have a lot of people from the LGBTQ community coming in through our doors, but one of our goals is to treat every single person with respect and dignity when they come in.
We've built a wonderful network. So we have churches that provide volunteers. So Every Nation Winnipeg, we have Abundant Life, we have volunteers from Gateway and Church of the Rock. So it's just a wonderful collaboration of different churches coming together to see what God is doing in the city.
So we bring food in that's donated, and then we sort it out and we organize it and take all the good food out and put it into bags to give out to people in need. We decided to start a community garden here because we know not only does it help people in need, but then it also tackles the problem of food scarcity in the city.
Here in Winnipeg, we see a lot of people who are less fortunate than we are that may be starving or may just not have somewhere to make their own food. It's tough to see since we get so much food ourselves.
Sometimes we just are just in our own little bubble. We don't realize the needs of just people in our city. We think of going on missions trips to other countries, but there's so many needs here.
A number of us were able to participate to pray with those who wanted prayer. That was pretty neat to see how many people were wanting prayer and able to trust their issues, concerns, and challenges to the Lord.
Absolutely amazing how a little love goes so far. Just showing them God's love. Like, no conditions. You can say whatever you want, but God still loves you. I still love you. It's been life-changing. It really has. It's like I'm not the racist little snob anymore. I'm not afraid to drive in certain areas anymore. These are good people. Life has just dealt them a different hand for a while.
The people here are beautiful. God chose us, He destined us, it almost like He fashioned us to serve in this community.
At the 2016 World Conference, we felt God calling us to Canada. We asked the Lord, why would you send us to Canada? What would you want us to do? And there was 3 very distinctive things that we heard the Lord say to us: to build a multicultural congregation, to work with indigenous communities, and the third thing was to work with refugees and to be a support to refugees. And we're finding Freedom House was the perfect fit for us. And we are serving and we are fulfilling that mandate with the whole 3 areas. Our vision is that people will catch the vision and go and duplicate this, duplicate the heart behind this, so that we can see more lives change. There's such a great need, not just in Winnipeg, but throughout Canada, throughout the US, the rest of the world as well. Because we're a church and a community we don't get tithes and offering. Our tithes and offering sometimes is $20 to $50 a month. We're a registered charity, but because we're a Christian ministry, we don't get funding from government at all. We get a huge amount of food donations, which we're really grateful for, but cash is what we need to be able to pay the mortgage, be able to pay the hydro bill. So if anybody is interested in supporting and helping out, that's one of the ways that you can do that. You can find details on the Facebook page, you can find it on our website as well.